vindication. 27 years ago, like some of you students came here, Boria Bistar Banke, thinking that they'll get through the written exam, the GD, and then they'll so easily get through the next day classes start, so I have to leave home with everything I have syndrome. How many of you did that, students? Have they changed the rules now? Well, I didn't make the group discussion, they rejected me, and here I am speaking to you. I think life confidence. So the moment I heard that I had to speak here, I just saw TISS. Everything else just blurred and said, I'm coming and speaking. I don't care what they want to hear from me. So it's called closure. So that was a failed attempt, and I've done many things that have failed, including my first year in college, Casey College, and subsequently, professionally, I tried to start a FM radio network for women only called Meow. Yes, it existed like 10 years ago. No, 8 years ago, I'm sorry. And today it's Ishq FM. Heard of that? 104.8? See, you never heard of Meow, ladies? Yeah, one lady, that's why it failed. Then I started something for the LGBT community. It was called Q Radio. And that failed. Why? Because only one LGBT person actually heard it, like one woman here. So I just said, okay, I'm not going to do this gender and lifestyle stuff anymore. Let me just deal with humans. So I got onto the bandwagon of promoting organ donation awareness. I guess regardless of who you are or what you think, you need an organ when you need an organ. And all of you can give an organ before you leave. So 2.5 years ago, when I was asked to give my organ, I'm not a complete man today because I gave up my kidney. So I can't model for Raymond. Well, the good news is you can laugh. This morning I was thinking, who died here? When I spoke to my 20-year nemesis, is he here? I asked him, what is he doing? He's saying, I'm doing my MBA and I've opted for HR. I'm like, really? No, not really. I didn't get something else, so I had to take this. So that's the story of most of you HR people, trust me. It's because you wanted to be a rocket scientist and you couldn't, and that's why you're in HR. Some of you, like, there's always exceptions. But anyway, I love this word, this phrase, it's been used too much here. To cut a long story short. After I gave up my kidney, I believe that everybody had an opportunity to give to life and save one. Not necessarily when you're alive, because that's a tough task, but certainly when you're dead, because you're not taking that stuff with you. So I thought I'd spread that message, and I realized everybody knew about it, but they just didn't want to act. So that awareness campaign, so just to get noticed, I couldn't do anything as simple as put something up on Facebook, because there's so much stuff that got lost in the clutter. So I had to drive from Bangalore to Scotland to just get your attention. And as I drove, I continued driving. I drove from Italy to Dubai, and this year I'm driving from Ladakh to everywhere in India, Kona, India. Anyone from Kotak here? Sponsor, please. But awareness had to change into action, and that's what really this was about. And regardless of which company you are, what you play, what role you play in that company, if you believe in organ donation, you need to sign up. Only then will that work. Just because you think it's a good idea, it doesn't work. So I started, when I say I started, I committed to myself that I will sign up 1 million organ donors. So it's called the Million Donor Project. Like I said, I'm really well versed in picking up stuff that I fail in. And I'm beginning to feel that way about this one because I've only got less than 1,000 and I've got a long way to go. So why don't you please consider being an organ donor? And it doesn't mean you have to go quickly and sign up with an registry or some organ donation NGO or whatever else. Just tell your family about it. That's all it takes, because they're the ones who are going to make the last call on your remains. How morbid can that be? But you live through their decision because you've told them that you want to see through somebody else. Just give your eyes and stuff like that. So that said, I've pretty much drifted in life. I'm still drifting, and that's the best part of it, because now I have a life to talk about. Career is only a part of it. Don't make career your whole life, because it's really not worth it. At the end of the day, nobody gives a shit. So, there's another project that I've started because I wanted to disrupt the industry. So I came from the FM radio background, and I talked about sex with women at night on public airwaves. That failed. But I said, okay, let me see if I can do something more meaningful. We started something called Radio Vana, which is right outside as a booth. And we said, okay, let's do corporate radio, because people are people, they're everywhere today, and how do you communicate? How does the employee talk to the bosses or talk to their own people with the smartphone? So we decided, let's try that. So that's another failed experiment, because none of you want to use it, the HR people. But you can, and I have hopes for every project that's my cue that I should stop. They found new ways to do it. But anyway, so that's the Million Donor Project. So what, my last story in this whole, I'm 50 years, I have lots of stories. So when I drove from England, from Bangalore to Scotland, I also happened to go to America right after. And there I met somebody who had given his kidney to his wife. And we bonded like no other, because donors bond differently. And 3 months ago, he called me from New York and said he wanted help with his brother-in-law, who was from Afghanistan, a 17-year-old kid. And he needed a kidney, and he asked if I could help. Right now, people are asking me if I can supply kidneys. That's kind of, so don't come to me for that. I don't do that. I'm holding on to the one I got. But as we speak today, Malik's been in Bangalore for 2.5 months with no end in sight for his ordeal to just live. Because India's kidney donation laws are just so ridiculous that even Indians go through the same thing, by the way, not just because he's Afghani. But tomorrow will be the day, so pray for us that he gets his approval and he goes back home safe. But what did this do for me? Like I said, I drifted. I suddenly realized that there's a bigger calling. The Million Donor Project is a long-term nation-building exercise. It's going to take a while, and by the time your kidneys come to use, it'll be 30, 40 years, because I hope you live a nice, healthy life in a long one. So what can I do now? So as of yesterday, my partner, who's also my CEO somewhere here, Arvinder Bhatia, are you here? Now he allows me to do this stuff, correct? So I'm a full-time social cause traveler, and I still get salary, which is why I have to thank my CEO for this, because otherwise how can I do this stuff? Him and I just yesterday signed the trust deed for a foundation called the Gift of Life Adventure Foundation. It's now an NGO. The whole, like I said, it started off as a personal journey, and now it's become, well, at least promises to be an institution, which is what I'd like it to become. But we want it to raise money and pay for organ transplants for women and children, which is what this foundation is going to do, and this is what I'm going to do full time for the next, whatever, time I have to raise that $1 million and then be able to have kids and women, by the way, why? Because there's a gender bias in organ donation against women because they don't think their lives matter. So I think that if I couldn't really make meow work, I'll certainly keep you alive if I can. And thank you for listening. One more thing, please go to my website, giftoflifeadventure.com/sign up. What this app does, it captures your intent to become an organ donor and communicates that to your family. So you're not giving me any of your personal details. I frankly don't want it. So just need you to commit and tell your family about it, because once that conversation starts, I think good things will happen when the bad thing ends. giftoflifeadventure.com/sign up, but that .com will also take you there. And of course, with the same name on Facebook. We have a lot of videos of our journey from different countries and the different experiences that we've had, and we continue to populate that with the drives that I continue to do. Thank you for listening.
So, from OD perspective, I see, as I listen to your story, use of self as an instrument of change is fundamental in your story, in the way you have used yourself and the way you have brought in change. So my question really to you is, what are the one or two, I don't want to call it competences, but your essence that really stands up for you, which always helps you to move into new areas and diverse fields and to do what you believe in?
Well, earlier somebody asked me about all of these words that are being used, and I had no clue what this all meant, including emancipation. I still don't know. So OD is, I didn't go to TISS, remember? Look, forget about all that. I got the gist of what she's asking. The thing that allowed me to do everything that I'm doing is because I was boss. And that's the problem. Had I worked for a company and gone up the rat race, I don't think I could have done half the things I did. And I had a boss that allowed me to do this stuff. So it is important, okay, that if I have to create change for myself as a person in an organization, either I'm a rebel and say, I don't need this. Remember Singham? There's this dialogue that says, मेरी ज़रूरतें हैं काम इसलिए मेरे सीने में है दम. I have foolproof myself to recession, which means being unemployed. And I can survive even if I'm unemployed, and therefore I have the strength to do the things that I want to do for myself as part of my life. So anybody can really do this, they just have to tailor their expectations from themselves.
So the way it impacts me is your sense of humor. Okay? And
Itna sab bol gaya. I look like Kapil Sharma.
Your sense of humor and underlying your very intense seriousness. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. So now we are on